In today's video, we will see string data type in Python. Now, string data type is a very important data type in Python. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. So let's see string data type in Python. So any data in Python, if it is enclosed within single quote, double quote, or triple quote, is a string data type. We can write any string data type enclosed within a single quote, just like here. We can also enclose string data type within double quote, and we can enclose string data type within single triple quote or double triple quote. All these syntax are valid. Now, if our string data type is covering more than one line, then we should enclose that string data type within either single triple quote or double triple quote. If within a string data type we are using a single quote, like here we are using cars and there is a single quote here, then we should enclose that string data type within double quote. If within our string data we have double quotes, just like here we have two double quotes here, then we should enclose that string within a single quote. If within our string we have single and double quote, then we should enclose that string either with single triple quote or double triple quote. Like in this example, we see we are using single quote here in cars, and then there's a double quote surrounding this car's tire. So we need this as a part of our string data. So we're going to enclose this string within either a single triple quote or double triple quote. So here we store hello string within a string variable. Now to access any part of the string, we're gonna use this syntax here, the square bracket. And now in Python or in any other computer language, the counting always starts from number 0. So when we say we count as like 1, 2, 3, 4, but in computer language it's always started from 0, then 1, then 2, and then 3, and then 4. So to access any part of this string hello here, we're going to use the square bracket and the number here. So our numbering starts from 0. So when we write a and in bracket 0, we accessing the character h. In the similar way, if you write a and then 1 within a bracket, we are accessing the second element within a string, that is e. In a similar way, if we go a and within a square 2, then we are accessing the third element, that is l. Now, in string data type, when we do positive counting starting from 0, we are moving from left to right. In a similar way, in Python, if we count from -1, like -1, -2, -3, we are moving from right to left. So in this string hello, 0 represent 0 point to letter H, 1 point to letter E, 2 points to letter L, 3 points to letter L, 4 points to letter O. In a similar way, -1 points to the last letter within a string. So here the last letter is 0. And then -2 is pointing to L. Then -3 is pointing to L. Then -4 is pointing to E. And then -5 is pointing to H. So when we use -1 and then -2, -3, we are moving from the last character of the string towards left. So when we are using positive number starting from 0, we are pointing at the 0 is pointing at the first character within string, and then we are moving towards right. Okay, so when we do a and then -1 within a bracket, we are pointing at the last letter within a string, that is O. If we do a -2 within a bracket, we are pointing at the second last letter within a string, that is L. So here we store string hello within variable a. So if we do slicing, this is the syntax of slicing. We write the variable name, and then within a bracket, square bracket, we write the starting point and the end point. Now the end point is always end -1. So if you go a within a bracket 2:4, so start here is 2, but the end will be end -1, so end will become 3 here. Okay, so Now this is our default syntax. So our n becomes n minus 1 here. So if we use this here, a 2 colon 4 within a bracket for this string hello, so 2 will point at L because 0 is H, 1 is E, so 2 is L, and then it will go up to the point 3. So L and L will be sliced out of this string. So that will be our answer here, LL, right? And then the other syntax for slicing is A within a bracket start colon n colon 1. When we don't, so the 1 here is our third value within a syntax. If we don't use this value, that means by default the third value is plus 1. We can increase this value to 2, 3, 4. Now if it goes from 1 to 2, then when we are moving from left to right, it's gonna jump like 2 letters, 2 characters. Okay, so we can see here in this example here, when we store Python programming string within A and we use this syntax of slicing 2 colon 6 colon 2, we will start from point 2. Okay, so 2 here will be 0 is P, 1 is Y, and 2 is T. So we will start from T here and then it go all the way to 6. So our end letter will be, our end syntax will be 6 minus 1, that will be 5. So we will start from T and we will go all the way to 3, 4, 5 up to N. So we will start from T and we will go all the way to N. Now let's start from T. So we take the first letter T here. Okay, after T, because our third value here is 2, we're gonna jump 2 characters. So from T we're gonna jump to first character H and then we're gonna jump to second character O. So O, we're gonna pick O here. After O we jump again 2 characters towards the right, so we go to N and then we go to P. Now the P is outside our syntax because we only travel from T up to the letter N. So the answer will be T and then O. So this value will be sliced out of the string hello Python programming. Now in this syntax here, if the first number is missing, like in A, that there's no first value here and then colon and 6, that means the first value will be 0. So we will start from the 0 and then go all the way to 6. So 6 will become 5 because end value is always n minus 1. So out of Python programming, we will start from 0, that is P, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to N. So the Python will be sliced out of this Python programming string. Now in this syntax, first value is present but the second value is missing. So we will start from the first value, which will be at 5. So if we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we start from N. Because the second value is missing, so we will go all the way towards the N. So starting from N, we will slice out all the value until G. So our value will be N programming. Now if both start value and the end value is missing, that means the starting value is 0 and the end value will be the last value. So the whole string will be picked in this answer. So we can write string within a single quote, we can write string within a double quote, we can write the string within a single triple quote or double triple quote. These all are valid. If our string consists of more than one line, then we need to enclose that string within either single triple quote or double triple quote. So this is our string that consists of more than one line. Now if we start with single triple quote, then we need to make sure that we enclose with a single triple quote. If we start with the triple double quote, then we have to enclose that with triple double quote. Now in slicing, we start from the first, that is 0 here, is pointing at H, and the end value is 3. So end value will become 3 minus 1, that will be 2. So we will count from 0, 1 and go to 2. So 0, 1, 2 value will be sliced out of this string. So that will become HEL. Here the starting value is 2, which is pointing at 0 L, the first L, and then the end value is 5. So it will become 5 minus 1, that is 4. So the first value is pointing at L, that is 2, and then 3, and then 4. So the 4 value is pointing at O. So the value will be LLO. So that's how slicing is done. Here the first value is missing, so the first value becomes 0 and the second value here is 3. So 3 minus 1, 2. So we go from 0, 1, 2. So 0 is H, 1 is E, L, 2 is L. So HEL. Here the second value is missing, the first value is 2. So we start with 2. So 2 is our 0, 1, 2. 2 is L. And then because the second value is missing, so we go all the way to the N. So starting with L, it's gonna pick up L, L, and then 0. If both the values are missing, we get the full string. Here the starting value will be 0 and the end value will be the end value. So it's gonna pick up the whole string. Now in this syntax, our first value is 2 and then the second value is 6. So 2 is pointing at 0, 1, 2, t. So 2 is pointing at t, and because the second value becomes 6 minus 1, 5. So second value will be 0, 1, 2 is 3, 4, 5. So second value will point at O. So our value that should be sliced is T, H, and O. Now because there is a third value present here, right, which is 2. So first value will be picked, which is T. After T, we will jump 2 values towards the right because the third option here is plus 2. Okay, so from T, we will go to H and then O. So O will be selected. After O, we go to N and then P. Now P is out of our range, so P will not be selected. Only T and O will be selected. Here, the first value is 2, so it is pointing at T. And the second value is 10, so it will become 9. So it will point at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will point at G. So our value should be sliced from starting from T all the way to G. And the third value is 3. So it's gonna jump 3 characters. It's gonna pick the third character from this syntax. So the first will be selected T. After T, it jump 1, 2, and 3. So it is at N. So it pick N. After N, it jump 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. It pick O. After O, it's gonna jump again G, R, and then A. But A is out of our range, so A will not be selected. In a similar way, if our third value instead of plus 1 or plus 2 is minus 1, now this is a very important here, then instead of going from left to right, we go from right to left, right? Now in this example here, first value is missing, second value is missing, and the third value is minus 1. Because it is minus 1, our answer will be this one here. If you look at this answer, it is just reverse of Python programming. Because it's minus 1, so it starts with the last letter, that is G, and then it go towards left all the way to the letter P. So it is printed in a reverse order. In this example here, we have the first value is minus 1, second value is minus 5, third value is minus 1. So every time the third value is minus 1, we always move from right to left instead of left to right. Okay, so we move from right to left. Now our first value is minus 1. Now minus 1, as we discussed earlier, is pointing to the last letter within a string. So minus 4 will point at, in this Python programming, will point at the letter G, right? And the second value, which is minus 5 here, now you have to pay attention here. When the third value is plus 1, and when we calculate the second value, like the starting value is this one, and the second value when we calculate, when the third value is plus 1 or plus 2 or whatever, if the third value is plus, the second value will be the second value minus 1. Okay, but in this case, when the third value is minus 1 or minus 2, if the third value is minus, then the second value will be calculated as second value plus 1 instead of minus 1. So it's just the opposite. So we will see here. So the starting value here is minus 1, which is pointing at the letter G, the last letter. Then the second value is minus 5. So it will be calculated as minus 5 plus 1. It will become minus 4. So if we check from here, minus 1 is G, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So minus 4 will point at the letter M, starting from the last letter. From G, G is where the minus 1 is pointing, minus 2 is pointing at N, minus 3 is pointing at I, minus 4 is pointing at M. So we're gonna slice out starting from G until the letter M. So we can see here in the result, G, N, I, M. right? So it is sliced in the reverse order. So we go from right towards the left. We will see here a is equal to hello. So we started with -1, second value is -4, third value is -1. Because the third value is -1, we're going to go from right to left. So in this case, -1 is pointing at O. Our -4 will become -4 plus 1 -3. So -1 is O, -2 is L, the first L, -3 will be the second L. Third value is -1, so it is going to go from right to left. So first letter will be O printed, then L, and then L, right? Now, string is immutable. That means we cannot change any character within a string. So if we try to go A0, so A0 is here is H. If we try to put B in place of H, it will give us error. Okay, so we cannot change any one character within a string, but we can delete the whole string. Here, because the third value is -1 here, our first value is -1 pointing at the last letter within a string, that is G, and then our second value, which is -6, will become -6 plus 1, that is -5. So -5 will become -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So this M here will become -5. So it will print from G until all the way to M in a reverse order. So our answer will become this one here. Okay. Now if you want to reverse the whole string, so we're going to go like this: A colon. So first value is missing here. So it's gonna point to the last letter, that is G. Second value is also missing here. Okay. And then our third value will become -1. Okay. Now because it's -1, it's gonna go from right to left. Okay. So the first value, because it's missing, it's gonna point to Z. The second value is missing, it's gonna point to the last letter within a string. Because we are going from right to left, the first letter here will become G, and the last letter will become P in a reverse order, and the answer will be printed out in a reverse order like this. Okay. Other is string is immutable, so we cannot change any one character within a string. If you try to change the 0th value, which is P here within Python program, if you try to replace it with some other letter, say K, it gives us error saying that we cannot do that. Okay, but we can delete the whole string. If I go del A, so A is gone. If I try to print A, there's no value in A, so A is deleted. Now operator in string: if we have hi in within A and we store hello within B, if we go A plus B, if we use plus operator, it will combine both the strings. So our answer will become hi hello with no spaces within hi and hello. If we try to use this operator multiply, it's gonna multiply the string. So before A had a hi, if we do A multiply 2, our answer will become hi twice. So here we multiply hi twice. Okay. Now other important thing is, when we do these kind of changes or we do any kind of calculation on a string, the original string that is stored will not change. A new string will be created. So when we go A multiply 2, we see hi and hi, but the actual value within the A will be hi. It will not become hi. It will just stay one hi. Now similar thing here, when we go A plus B, it gives us hi and hello, but the actual value within A will be hi and B will be hello. It will not change the actual value. And then the in operator. Now within string, when we try to access any value within a string, if we use the index that is out of the range, we always get an error. For example, here we have B is equal to hello. So the first index is 0, which is pointing at H. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth index is pointing at the last letter, which is O. If I try to access B within a bracket 5, it will be out of the range and we will get error. Okay. Now to avoid this error, what we can do is we try to see if the character we want is within the string. Right? If we know the character exists within the string, then we can access that character. So we can use in operator to find out if certain character within the string exists. For example, here we have A is equal to hi. We want to find out, before we access the letter H, we want to find out if the letter H exists within the string or not. So by this syntax, we can check if H within a single quote in A. We are asking if H exists within a A, then we print H, right? Or we can do any other calculation with the letter H. Similar way, we can also use keyword not. Instead of in, we can use the keyword not n. So this will, as the name suggests, is here we will find out if certain character does not exist within a string. For here, example here, a is equal to high. We're gonna check if k does not exist within this string. So if k not in a, we do some calculation like print something or do some logic or something. Okay. So in keyword and not in keyword. So if we do a plus b, we get hi hello. So plus operator will combine two string, but make sure plus is only used on two string. If you try to combine string with the integer, it will give us error. So if we try to do a plus 5, it will give us error. So only two string can be combined with the plus operator. Now similar way, if we do use this operator, multiply by 4, it's gonna multiply that value within the variable a. So it will give us this error. So high is multiplied 4 times. Okay. We can do the same thing to the b. It multiply hello 5 times. Okay. Now if we see the actual value of a, it will be high, b will be hello. So actual value is not changed. Okay. So we use the in operator here. So we try to use in operator to find out if the character h is present in string a, the string that is stored in the variable a. So if h in a, print h is present in a. So we got the answer h is present in a because the character h is present within the string that is stored in variable a. Here we use the keyword not in. So if k, the character k, if is not in a, then type letter k is not present. So we got this answer, letter k is not present, because this turned out to be true, because the character k is not present within the string stored in variable a, which is high. Now, as I said earlier, we cannot change any one character within a string because strings are immutable, right? If we try to, here we stored hello in a, if we try to change the first value, that is 0, if we try to replace it with the letter k, it's gonna give us error saying that strings are immutable, you cannot change it. But we can delete the whole string. We can go del a will delete the string a, the variable a, which is holding the values hello. Now there is a function called id. This function returns the identity of the object. Now everything in Python is object. So with this function id, what id does, it gives us the identification number of the object stored somewhere in the memory, or you can say it gives us the memory address of the object stored in the memory. Now because everything in Python is object, all the data types are object, so string is also an object. So when we go id of certain string, it gives us where the string is stored within the memory. Now I said strings are immutable, so we cannot change the value of string. We cannot change any certain one character within a string, but we can delete the string and we can change the whole value in the string. So what happens when we change the whole value? Let me show you here. So when we store hello within string a, okay, and I try to find the id of a will give us the identification number of the memory or the memory address of variable a, which is stored somewhere in the memory. Now I cannot replace any one character stored within the variable a. So within variable a we stored hello. We cannot replace any one character within hello, but we can change the whole value. So instead of hello, I now store hi within the variable a, right? And I also said that strings are immutable. So what happens is when we store the variable hi within the variable a, the hello which is stored somewhere in the memory stays there. A new value hi will be created, and will be stored somewhere else in the memory. And now the variable a will point to the new value stored somewhere in the memory. So I stored the value high, the string high within a. If I try to use this function IDA, I get this value here. So this is the identification number of the string high stored somewhere within the memory, or the memory address of the variable a stored somewhere in the memory. Okay. Now if I try to change one value of this character, if I try to change one value of this string, for example, I try to change the first value with letter K, it will say no, you cannot do that. Okay. But I can replace all the value. Instead of hi, I can write hello now. Okay. So now a has the string hello. Now if I try to get the ID of a, now this number here, this new identification number is different than this identification number here. Okay. So now what happened is a new value hello, a new string hello is stored within a variable a, and this value is created and stored somewhere within the memory at a different location. Okay. So the location, this location here where value high is stored, this value will stay where it is. It will not be changed, but a new hello will be created and stored at a new address, and this is a new address. Okay. Now this happened because strings are immutable. That means the strings are not destroyed, or we cannot change the string. So when we put a new value within a string, we replace the whole string, it will just move to a different memory location, but the actual value that was stored will stay there it is. It will not be destroyed. Okay. Now when we have two strings, now we can combine two strings using plus operator. But what happens when we have string and we have a number? We cannot combine number with a string using a plus operator. In that case, we can use format method. So this is how it works. We go print whatever we want to print that comes within a single quote. So say curly braces and get curly braces dollars dot format. Now this two curly braces will be replaced by some value, either string or the number. And then after that code we goes dot format, and this is our first value hello, and 10 is our second value. So first curly braces will be replaced with the first value hello, second curly braces will be replaced with the second value 10. So our answer now is say hello and get $10. So here we combine a string with a number, but we cannot do this with a plus operator. Now there is a other syntax for the format method, that is we can go this way. Within a single quote, say curly braces 1 and get curly braces $0 dot format first value and the second values. Here within a curly braces we are writing a number 0 and 1. So that number is actually pointing to our values within the format within this parenthesis here. So 0 I'm saying here because 0 means the first value, which is 10. 1 within a curly braces means I'm pointing that means second value, which is hello. So our answer becomes say hello and get $10. Okay. Now within this curly braces we can use this format colon and then smaller than sign. Okay. So what that does, so this is example here. I have within a curly braces I use colon smaller than sign $5 and then dot format 10. So 10 will come in places of our curly braces. So 10 is our number here. Now colon and smaller than sign is telling us is telling that the value 10 will have 5 spaces. So the 10 will come, so the value 10 will have 5 spaces, and it within that 5 spaces it will be towards the left of the 5 spaces. So as we can see in answer here, I have 10 and then there is some spaces and then dollars. Okay, so left the smaller than sign and 5 is telling that okay, there are gonna be 5 spaces and the 10 will be towards the left of those 5 spaces. Now we have another format here, exactly the same as the previous one, but here after colon we are using underscore and then less than sign and then 5. So what this says is we're gonna have 5 spaces. Okay, whatever the value, it's gonna be towards the left of the 5 spaces because we have a less than sign. So this less than sign will move the value towards the left of those spaces, and then the rest of the spaces will be covered by underscore. In this example here, we have 10 and then we have some empty spaces. In this example, we will have 10 towards the left and the empty spaces will be replaced with the underscore, this one here. Okay. Now, this kind of things we cannot do with the percentage formatting, which is the old way of formatting a string. So format method is a new way of formatting a string. Okay. So the first curly braces will be replaced with the first value, which is hello, and the second curly braces will be replaced by the second value, which is 10 here. So say hello and get $10. So this way we can combine string with a number. This is the second format. Here within the curly braces, we are using the number 0 and number 1 here. This number is pointing actually at the value. This format parentheses saying that, okay, 0 pointing at the first value, 1 is pointing at the second value. I have, now within curly braces we use colon and the less than sign and then 5. Okay, so this curly braces will be replaced by the value 10. Now value 10 will have 5 spaces. Out of these 5 spaces, 10 will be towards the left of the 5 spaces because we have mentioned here this within the curly braces. So let's check the answer like this here. So I have $10. So 10 and there are 3 more spaces and 10 will be towards the left of those 5 spaces. Okay. The other format is exactly the same as the first one, but here the curly braces will be replaced by 10. 10 will have 5 spaces. Now this less than sign will move the 10 towards the left of those 5 spaces, and this underscore here will replace the empty spaces towards the right with the underscore. So if we like this here, okay. So the first answer, if you see I have $10, on the right there are empty spaces. So those empty spaces is now replaced with the underscore. Okay. Now this one we cannot do using our old way of formatting. As I said, we use dollars, we use percentage sign to do the formatting, but we cannot use this kind of, we cannot have result like this with the old formatting way. Okay, we can only do this with the new formatting way, that is dot format. Now this is exactly the same as the previous one. Here we have colon and then greater than sign or pointed towards the right sign and then the number n. So what this does is it will write a line, so it will assign the spaces same as the number n. So if the number n is 10, it will assign the 10 spaces and the value will be towards the right because this sign here is pointing towards the right. Now in this one, n will here assign some spaces and this sign here pointing towards the top will center align that value within those empty spaces. And then we have colon and then equal sign and then n. Now this will place the sign in the leftmost position by this value n. Okay, so if we put here 10 instead of n, it's gonna move the sign towards the 10th position towards the left. Okay, now with this one we can only see for the negative sign. For the positive sign, we will not see plus sign. Only in case of a negative sign, we will see a negative sign move towards the left by these many numbers and here. Now the colon plus, now this will place the plus in front of the positive number and negative in front of the negative number. Now colon minus, here it will place negative in front of the negative number but no sign in front of the positive number. If we have colon space, here negative number will have a negative sign but there will be a empty space in front of the positive number. Then we have colon comma and then colon underscore. What it does is it put like after every 3 zeros, when we write any big number, after every 3 zeros it will put one comma or the underscore. Then we have colon b. What it does, it converts any other number into a binary number. Okay, so here colon and then greater than sign, what it does is it will assign 5 spaces to this value 10 and it will move that the value 10 towards the right of those 5 spaces, as we can see here. So 10, now there are total 5 spaces here and 10 is towards the right of it. We can also write this in this way, exactly the same as the previous one, but we can, after colon we can go underscore. That way we can see the spaces like this. So here first 5 empty spaces will be assigned to this value 10, and then the value 10 will be towards the right of those empty spaces, and those empty spaces towards the left of the 10 will be replaced with the underscore. Now this sign, this colon and this sign here pointing towards up, it will center align the value 10 within 5 empty spaces like this. So we can see there are spaces towards the left and spaces towards the right. So when we use colon and the plus, again colon and the plus, here negative value will have negative sign here, and the positive value will have a positive sign. If we write this way, so colon and the plus sign, so if there's a negative value here, it will be replaced, it will have a negative sign. If there's a positive value like plus sign, we will see the plus sign here. The other format for the same one is, we can do this way as well. After plus we can put some number like 5, and then after plus we can put some number like 6, like this. So now what happened is, negative value will show negative sign, and the positive value will show positive sign, and the space 5, the number 5 gonna move this number towards the right of those 5 spaces, and the plus 6 will move this number here towards the right of those 6 spaces. So if we have like colon and equal sign here, so the sign now will move towards the left. So here we have given 5 spaces, so this sign, so -3 will come in this place here, and minus will move towards the left like 5 spaces, and then this value will come. Same thing with the plus here, but in case of plus we will not see the plus sign, only we will see the negative sign here. Okay, so what happened here is negative sign moved towards the left by these many spaces. So in this one here we did colon, we doing colon minus here, and then colus minus. So in this place, in this case, the minus sign we can see as like here, but the plus sign we will not see. We will not see the plus sign, we will only see the number 30. We did the same one, colon minus. Here we did colon plus somewhere. Right here we did colons plus. It's exactly the same as a colon minus, but in case of a plus, we will see both the plus sign and the minus sign. Now we have colon and then empty space. So what happened here is, in front of the negative number we will see a negative sign, but in front of the positive number, instead of plus will be replaced with the empty space here. Okay, so in case of a colon empty space, we will see the negative sign for the negative number, but the plus sign will be replaced by the empty space here. When we have colon, comma, or colon underscore, so when we type any number, after every 3 zeros a comma will come here like this one, and in case of underscore, after every 3 zero we will have underscore like this. So it's easy to read. So when we have colon B, then it will convert, not 10 here is a decimal number, it will convert 10 into a binary value. Now it has the second format as well. Now here we have colon and then B. In front of the B I'm gonna put hash. So it will convert again the number 10 into binary value, but the binary value will be printed in a different format. So here we can see, so this is the binary value for number 10, but in front of the binary value we see 0 and B, whereas here we didn't see any 0 and B. Okay, so that's the only difference between these two forms. Now colon D converts any other number into a decimal form. Okay, in a similar way, colon E converts the value into exponential form, where we use the letter E, and this letter E will be in a small letter. Similarly, colon capital E will convert the value into a float exponential form with the letter E as a capital E right here. Now colon F converts the value into a float value. If we don't mention how many number we need after dot, then it will be 6 by default. And this is the format here. The number 4 says that altogether we will have 4 number, and then after dot we will have only 3 number. Okay, so this is for the float. Now O is for the octal value. We convert all the values are converted into octal using this. Colon X and the colon small x and the colon capital X will convert any value into hexadecimal form, whereas in small x, the hexadecimal form which we have, like we know after 9 we get the number A, B, C, D, E, F. So those A, B, C, D, those letter will be is smaller in a lowercase letter, whereas in colon capital X, those letter will be in a uppercase letter. If we use colon and then dot n, in case of a string, it will truncate the string after those number. Okay, if we use only colon and then n, if we use integer number, so integer will be right aligned. If you use string number, the string will be left aligned. If we use colon and then n can be any number. If the value we use is an integer number, so it will be right aligned. If the value is string, it will be left aligned. Okay, and then we have colon 0 and d, where d is for the decimal number and n shows how many spaces we will assign to the decimal number. For example, if the value we use is 2 and we assign 10 spaces to it, so 2 will be right aligned in that 10 spaces, and this 0 here shows that those empty spaces towards the left will be covered by 0. If we use colon n dot m, so in case of a string, now string by default is left justified, and dot m, the number m shows here that it will be truncated after those many values. So if we use colon and then any number here, so and if you use here the decimal number, so that number will be right aligned. So here we have 10 spaces and this number will be right aligned. Now if we use the same format like colon and then 10, but instead of number we use string, so this string will be left aligned like this here. So colon 10 is replaced by this value string here and it is left aligned here. If you use like this format, so 10 spaces will be assigned to this string will be left aligned, and after point we see number 3, so string will be truncated after 3. Look at that, see that? So 10, first colon 10, so 10 spaces aligned to this string will be left aligned, and then string will be truncated after 3 characters, so str. Okay, so if we use colon small e, so it will convert this 4 into exponential float value where e will be lowercase letter. This is exactly the same as the previous one, but here we have a capital E. So exactly the same answer, only difference is E here is uppercase letter. Here we use colon F, so here the colon F will convert the value 4 into float, and after this dot there will be 6 values, 6 zeros by default. This format here, this is also, so F is for the float, but here altogether the size of the float value will be 5, and after dot we'll have only 2 values, so we have 2 zeros after dot here. So here colon X convert this decimal number 18 into hexadecimal number 12 here. So here colon capital X convert this value decimal number into hexadecimal value, whereas the character like B and E are in capital because our X is capital here. This is exactly the same as the previous one, but here we use smaller lowercase x, so these value B and E are in lowercase. Here colon O will convert this decimal value into octal form, so this is our octal conversion value right here. So with this we are done with the formatting method of formatting the string. Percentage is the other way of formatting the string, which is the old method, so we're not gonna cover it. Okay, so with this we are going to end the session here. So if you guys learn anything from this video, please like and subscribe the video. See you in the next video.